anxious for an everything. So hold fast to your faith. Say he's gonna do it. Come on, everybody, say he's gonna do it. I know you've been wondering. See it, everybody else. Say wait. It will surely come. Don't be anxious for an everything. He has an appointed time. Come on, choir, say he's gonna do it. Everything that is spoken over your life, he's gonna do it. Trust in him and don't you fret. Come on, let's encourage somebody. Say it again with assurance. Stand on his promises. He's gonna do it. Say it again. Somebody might not have heard us, y'all. Come on. Everything God has spoken to you, it's coming to pass. Every word that he's purposed over your life, come to pass. Come on, say he's gonna do it. Put those hands together, everybody, and say, no matter how hard it gets. Come on, take it up right here and say he's gonna do it. I'm standing on the promises of God. He's gonna do it. Come on, tell somebody, just wait and see. Cause he did it for me. He's gonna do it. This is the part I like. If he said it, then I believe he's gonna do it. He's gonna do it. Say it with assurance. Encourage somebody today. No matter what you're going through. Come on, choir, say just wait and see. He did it for me. He's gonna do it. If he said it, then I believe. Yeah. Come on, say he's gonna do it. Just trust and believe he's gonna do it. No matter how long you've your sadness, strength in your weakness, and hope when you're helpless. He'll be healing for heartache, restore every heartbreak, freedom and bondage, and each sin he will pardon. Every promise that he made, it will come to pass. He won't go back on his word. Every promise that he made, it will come to pass. Keep trusting, believing, hold fast. Supplying the hard times, the light in your dark nights, faith in the valley, and a friend when you're lonely. Provision for your dreams, 'cause I haven't seen, nor have it heard, everything you shall be. But tonight I need you to know he won't go. Every promise that he made, yeah. I came tonight to tell you every promise that he made. Keep trusting. Anybody can turn tonight. I don't care how long it take me, Lord. I'm standing right here on your word, Father. For if you said it, that settles it. I don't have to get any other reassurance. I know what you told me is going to happen. Listen. He is not a man that will lie. If he said it, he will provide. Just keep holding on, count it all joy. For in this season,
Connecting the community through gospel. The new 107.9 FM, W300EB, Macon, and WDDO 980 AM, Perry, Macon. Connecting the community through gospel. The new 107.9 FM, W300EB, Macon, and WDDO 980 AM, Perry, Macon.
The views expressed on this program are not necessarily the views of the Glory 980 AM, the Glory Media Group, LLC, WDDO AM, its staff, management, or advertisers, but are the views and opinions of the participants of the broadcast.
Ask Elaine, better ask Elaine. Ask Elaine, better ask Elaine. Ask Elaine, better ask Elaine. Ask Elaine, better ask Elaine.
Well, hello. How are you today? I guess by now you've been reminded that it's Wednesday and it's 3 p.m. So you know that this is Ask Elaine. Welcome to the show. today. This is your voice, Commissioner Elaine Lucas, welcoming you once again to the show. We're just so happy to have you there, whether you're on AM, FM, or whether you're here on Facebook Live, The Glory. We just appreciate all of you so very much. And thank you for tuning in. We're looking forward to our messages in the chat today. So if you're joining us through Facebook Live, please share any comments, questions you might have. You can also call us at 478 250 1444. We'll be glad to take your call. Have you ask our very special guest a question or make a comment? It's your show. It's I think one of the leading talk and information programs in this area. And we
Absolutely.
are just so pleased. Our very special guest today is none other than our district attorney. I promised you that she would be coming to us from time to time. Her schedule is so hectic until we were fortunate to be able to get her scheduled for an hour for this show. And you know how quickly this show, the time goes by. So we were just very, very fortunate to get her on today. She's running from a meeting, coming here to provide information to you and inspiration to you. And then I believe she's going to be leaving, going to something else.
Yes, to another
So,
meeting.
yeah,
Yes.
we have a working DA, y'all. She just doesn't sit there like the last one did and draw your taxpayer paid salary. She's really earning it. And she has a wonderful staff who are so invested in the community. They are out and about everywhere. As I told you last week, they were at the Soul Jam Festival, had a table. I think just about everybody in your office was there.
It
They
was
were
a yes,
wonderful.
and they volunteered. They wanted to be there. They were excited about being there, and they're excited about Rise. When I first
Yeah,
started talking about Rise, they were kind of like, "Okay, DA Howard,
yeah,
okay," but
yeah. Because
they
they weren't used to progressive talk, you know.
yes, and so they were like, "Okay," and now they're excited because number one, they see the change in the kids and the children and in their families, and then they're also excited because the community is excited. And it's not
Yeah,
just our community. I mean, other people are hearing about
yeah.
Rise. I know,
And
uh,
they're saying, why don't we have it in
yes,
our?
why don't we
So you're
have
setting
this?
the standard.
And we got some great news, some awesome news. Just Saturday, we confirmed it today. It is such a blessing to get support for any of the initiatives, especially Rise. And Congressman Bishop's office reached out to us a couple months ago and said, "Hey, you all need to, we've heard about Rise, and are you interested in this appropriations grant that we have?"
Uh
And
oh.
so we found
Money,
out,
money, money.
yes, we got exactly what we asked for. We asked for $240,000 for this year, and we were awarded that $240,000.
Uh-huh.
So we're
Uh-huh.
excited.
I know you should be. And
We're excited.
congratulations. That is
Yes.
great.
And so
That
we've
is
had some
great.
other partners, some other corporate sponsors that are reaching out to us. And so, saying we want to be involved. Everybody's excited. I should have brought one here, but everybody's excited about the Justice Journal.
Uh-huh.
And they were reading about Rise. And I had some folks from the corporate world say, how do we get involved? How
Yeah.
can we help with
Yeah.
Rise? And so it's a wonderful thing.
Yeah, it is. It is. Uh, as you know, you probably have seen our special guest today is District Attorney Anita Reynolds Howard. And as I was saying before, we are so fortunate to be able to get an hour of her time because she is very, very busy. She's always doing stuff. She was on this station earlier this morning doing some information for Apostle. and the bishop, and I listened to a portion of that, and we're going to talk some more about that. But that's two times on just this radio station, so we commend her for all of the commitment, the energy, the effort that you and your staff, because
Yes.
nobody works alone.
No, I have an amazing
Yeah.
team. I have about 70 employees. We're located in 3 counties, 4 buildings. One building here in Bibb County has 5 floors, and
Hmm.
we are really running out of space. So,
I
we're not
think
not
there's some
not.
discussion about
Yes,
that
yes,
too.
yes. I know. The mayor and the commissioners have gotten my request. There's a little space up there that's not being utilized at all, and I'm like, I need it, I need it. And our plan is to actually put our rise and outreach team there so
Uh-huh.
they can be co-located right there together.
Yeah,
So
that makes sense. That makes
yes,
sense. So we're listening. At least I'm one voice over there. I'm listening. And it's obvious the mayor's listening too,
yes,
because we routinely approve recommendations that you have made or pass through money for grants that you have applied for, you and your office have applied for, that we've been awarded.
yes.
And it's so we got to give thanks, and I do this every week. We give thanks to Uncle Joe, and I call him affectionately Uncle Joe, Joe Biden, who's in the White House, y'all. And if we are smart, we will keep him. That this not the DA talking. This is me, Elaine, Democrat, talking. We better work as hard as we can. If you're not registered, go ahead and get registered today. And if you
Mhm.
need some information as to how to do it, it's very, very easy. You call me after the program or call me over at EL High School, and I will be glad to share with you that simple card that you fill out to become a registered voter. It's going to be too late next year
Mhm.
because something can happen. You'll forget it and it'll slip up on you, and you'll say, I hear it every election. I darn, I forgot to get rid,
That's
and the
right.
time slips up on you. Or it's early voting and you let the time get past you and something happens that you can't get to the polls. So this is one thing that you don't put off, just like you don't put off getting having insurance, just like you don't put off fixing that roof if you see some signs of stuff happening, just like you don't put off, you lock your stuff up. Don't put this off. This is truly a matter of life and death, especially for Black and Brown people in
Mhm.
all communities in our country. We're gradually having the rights of the people taken away from them. And it's sad. It's some governmental officials that are trying to do it. But the way you safeguard your rights
That's right.
and as a citizen of the United States is to ensure them by being, first of all, registered. Don't talk to anybody about citizenship, about complaints or whatever if you're not registered, because you really, I'm just going to say it like other folks think you don't count because you won't count yourself. You won't go
Exactly.
ahead and get involved in the way that you can. That's the most fundamental thing that citizens can do, and that is to become a registered voter, make your voice heard. We had in our fight to push back on the fare increases for Macon
Right,
Transit,
right,
we had 500 or 600 registered voters living in these different districts to sign petitions, both online and on paper, saying to their elected representatives they didn't want the fares increased. And guess what? We voted not to do it. And we also put Macon Transit on notice that we are going to have reporting from you monthly. We're not just going to take your word. You tell us you want a lump sum of money. No, you're going to have to validate. We have to validate what you're asking for because you're asking for taxpayers' money. Some of these same folks who are utilizing the transit authority, all of those folks pay taxes, pay into the money that goes in the transit authority. But it was because these folks who signed the petition were registered to vote. They were active participants. They signed that petition and they were willing to say, I'm here and I'm ready to take action. That's how you get things done.
That's how you get them done. And even, I tell people all the time, when people say, "Well, I don't agree with this that an elected official has done," you're not going to agree with 100% of
Mm-hmm.
anything that
Mm-hmm.
anybody has done.
Mm-hmm.
But you're absolutely correct when it comes to President Biden. There's been some things that he has done that I know have directly benefited
Oh yeah.
individuals in my office as well as me when he signed the waiver for the public service student loan
Mm-hmm.
forgiveness. If you
Mm-hmm.
are a public servant, there should be something in place where after you work a certain number of years and if you're paying those loans that
Right.
a large portion or all of the remainder should be forgiven. And then we know that I know what's the governor down there in Florida. I mean, he is just losing it. I know we're
They
not here to
call
talk
him
about that. I know
desanctimonious.
we're not here to talk about
They
that.
need to know
Well, the
that
thing is,
name so they know who
right.
is not their friend.
Well, and the thing about that is, what is the harm in having someone who is focused at universities on diversity and inclusion?
Yeah.
I mean, you should want that. I mean, what is wrong with teaching history? It's not like you're teaching something that's false. You're teaching
Mm-hmm.
something that
Mm-hmm.
happened. So, if you don't know your history, then you can't learn from it,
That's
right?
true.
And so I don't there I feel like there's some on the other side that are trying to erase what has
They
happened.
absolutely
They are
are.
trying to erase now we're all just one.
Mm.
We shouldn't look at race and we shouldn't look at those things, but you've looked at them for so long in this country to where it has systemically hurt
Yeah.
African
Yeah.
Americans and folks in black and brown communities. Now all of a sudden,
Oh, yeah.
it's kind of like with the
Let's change the
right, let's change
rules.
the rules. It's like with
Mm-hmm.
the prosecutorial oversight committee, even here
Yeah,
in
yeah,
Georgia.
yeah.
We have the largest number of minority elected prosecutors now. And it's not a coincidence that now all of a sudden prosecutors need
Oh
oversight.
yeah, yeah, yeah.
All before, and it was a lot of stuff
You're
going on,
elected.
right,
You're elected,
by
and
the
you get
people.
to handle your business.
That's
But
right.
now, with all of these black and brown folks who are in the position to carry out laws that these same folks have put in place,
That's right.
all of a sudden, oh, we got to look at them
Because
closely. Mm-hmm.
we've not had equal justice, right? And a lot of folk don't want equal
Right,
justice. Let's just
right,
face it. As
right.
long as we can go with the good old boy system and the laws don't apply to
Let my
us,
buddies out, but everybody
right?
else
And
has to.
so now all of a
Uh-huh.
sudden we need the prosecutors to have, but we, number one, we have oversight with the people. The people get an opportunity every 4 years. If we are not doing the job that the people have elected us to do, they can vote us out of
That's right.
office.
That's right.
And they have voted
If you go
DAs.
vote.
Right,
But the
exactly.
key is
You got to
the
go vote.
thing is you gotta go
And then
vote.
the other accountability mechanism that we have is to the State Bar of Georgia,
Mhm.
because we can be sanctioned by the State Bar of Georgia all the way to a disbarment. And if you're disbarred, you clearly can't be an elected prosecutor.
Mhm.
So there are already mechanisms, and now to have a committee that is solely created by those that are in power, which we know here is the Republicans,
Mhm.
right? So how is that going to be fair?
Yeah. Yeah.
Um,
First of all, they don't want black and brown folks to vote because those folks generally vote Democratic. So they figure if you vote, then they're going to be turned out of office because you know that nobody's going to support somebody who favors getting rid of Social Security and all that stuff you work for. So they know that if you vote, they lose. That's why they don't want you to vote. Then we've got more black and brown prosecutors
that's right.
who are elected in the state. And so now they come up with a special committee that if DA Howard brings charges or puts on trial somebody who's a buddy of theirs, like Trump, who has done all of this this stuff from A to Z, then they can come in and say, "Oh, wait a minute,
Right.
wait a minute. Now you and your mom and daddy and your child Ray Ray, all of them get to stand trial and go on and go to jail, but their buddies, they can determine." That's what that's about. And I'm glad that there's legal action being taken to
Yes.
overturn that, because clearly it's unconstitutional.
Absolutely. And then, we are prosecuting. And, I've been since in office, I have, had several, attacks. There's been criticism. But the one thing people cannot say, and they've not said, because that would be just a bald faced lie, they would need
Hmm.
to come down to that courthouse. We are prosecuting.
Yeah.
And so, this idea that just because we are, we have some progressive ideas, meaning that we're soft on crime, that's not correct. That's not accurate. That's not an accurate assessment. Just because I am progressive when it comes to pretrial diversion initiatives and youth preventive initiatives,
Hmm.
it doesn't mean that we are not holding violent offenders accountable.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
so, those two things aren't mutually exclusive. We can do both at the same
Hmm.
time. And
Hmm.
so, it's going to be very interesting. But I was very shocked about the taking away of the diversity and inclusion. And I
Yeah.
see that there's a
Yeah.
push for that.
Oh yeah.
I mean,
Yeah.
that's just
And they're not, it used to be they would kind of try and hide
right.
it. They, try and dress it up or whatever, but they're not even trying
Mm-mm.
to hide it anymore, which means that they're desperate people. Mr. Engineer, is are we on Facebook Live? We normally would have had some folks to put some questions or comments in the chat by now. I want to go over one or two more things, and then we're going to spend the rest of our. Yeah, I see. Maria Bryant is there. Hey, Maria, the NAACP. Good afternoon. Ricky Crawford is there. We just, Mr. Engineer, we just usually see it on the screen on the side. Rhonda Bird is with us.
Hello,
Um,
everyone.
and Randy Crawford, the
Yes.
other twin, is there. Hello, we want to welcome all of you over there. I got kind of nervous when I didn't see any
And I'm
comments,
like,
because
where
I
are the people
know
at?
it's about where are our folks. We know we're on AM, FM, and we welcome those who are listening. And we also welcome those who are on Facebook Live. I want to go through very, very quickly a few things, and I wrote those things down because I want the majority of the program to be dedicated to listening to, and is Dr. Butler. It's good to see you.
Oh,
Thank you
great
so
seeing you,
much
Dr.
for
Butler.
tuning
Yes.
in. All right, we want to thank our sponsors, and I don't do that nearly enough. Black Voters Matter, Sheriff David Davis, former Mayor C. Jack Ellis, Senator David E. Lucas Sr., EL High School Academy. And by the way, June 24th, we will be graduating another group of graduates, people who decided they wanted to do better for themselves. They wanted to finish high school. So they came back and they are prepared to march. Our graduation ceremony will be June 24th at St. Peter's Baptist Church on Fort Hill Street, starting at 5 o'clock. The doors will be open at 4:30 for seating of all of our guests. So we welcome you to come and congratulate these young people. They're already planning parties and family gatherings and stuff. And so we are just so pleased to say that there'll be another 20 graduates. And
That's
I believe
awesome.
DA's going to make it if she
Yes.
can. She has a tight schedule, but NAACP is also supporting us, Gwen Westbrook and Maria Bryant, and they will be making some special tributes. So we just have a lot of things going on, and we
And
want to
I'm glad
thank.
you told me. So I need to get 20 bags because, last
Oh yeah,
graduation, we did the bags. And so
yeah,
I'll tell
yeah.
you, they're packing the bags now for Friday. We'll talk
Uh-huh.
later about that.
That
But
sounds
yes,
great. That
yes,
sounds great. These are some great folks that are graduating.
yes.
They have really got serious about this, and they know when they receive the high school diploma that a lot of doors are
That's
opening
right.
for them, because on graduation day, we go ahead and announce. We present each one of the graduates, and we go ahead and announce where they're going, whether it's college,
Mhm.
technical school, the military, a new job, advancement on their job, whatever it is. We announce that so people can see the success. It
That's right.
immediately lifts your level of living when you
Yeah.
receive your high school diploma. So congratulations to them. And we
Because
want to,
education
oh
is the
yeah,
great
oh
equalizer.
yeah,
That's it.
oh
Doesn't
yeah,
education is the equalizer, and so
that's right.
I'm everywhere I go, I tell people about the academy. So
Mm-hmm.
absolutely.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Okay, we want to express our condolences to all of the families who have lost loved ones, all those who have sickness in their families, and we want to say congratulations to all of the graduates, all of the others who have graduated. Y'all stay out of trouble. Go on to college, technical school, wherever it is you're going, but stay out of trouble. Stay away. If it doesn't feel right, walk away, move away from it, and save yourself and other and your family members a lot of grief, because when you get in trouble, it's not just about you, it's
That's
about
right.
everybody else who cares about you, feeling what's happening to you. We want to express special condolences to the family of the late Mr. Nixon, Norm Nixon, the NBA, the retired
Hmm.
NBA player who's from Macon, who's married to Debbie Allen. His father passed away, and the services were held here, I believe, on yesterday or today. We want to bring to your attention that we were successful in getting the fare increase stopped. That will not take place. We're going to be monitoring just in case somebody wants to be low down and come back and propose it later on. We will be monitoring it. And then I'll be leaving office at the end of next year. So I'll have even more time to monitor a lot of stuff. And you better believe Macon Transit will be one of them. So if y'all think that this one time you can just go and do something else, slow down, no, it won't happen. Board of Elections, there are four people who were confirmed from the two parties, two Democrats, two Republicans, to serve on the Board of Elections. That's a new process now. And then the fifth nonpartisan member will be selected and presented to the commission as a recommendation very soon. The I did not vote on that because I did not agree with the process. And I did not vote on the proposal to name the Board of Elections director because we did not have the correct process in place. But we want to congratulate Tom Gillen, who was elected by the majority of the commission on yesterday to serve as the Board of Elections director. And we do hope that our Board of Elections, as well as the director, are of the mindset that they will get all the training that they need, because in the past some of the board of elections members haven't gone to training, and there are new laws that are being put in place all the time, state laws and federal laws, that all these folks who are doing our elections that they need to be aware of. So we're going to be monitoring that as well. Yeah, y'all can get mad all you want to, but these are things that protect people,
That's
so you
right.
got to do it. You expect me to abide by the law and do what, you know, so you got to do it too. Um, Check into the Douglas Theater. They've got all kinds of stuff going on during the month of June. There's a new director there, and he is welcoming you to come in. They have rentals available. I don't know whether they have any dates still available, but check them out if you want a um, low cost, very nice place to have some events. We talked about the graduates, and so next week, because the rest of the time is going to be yours. We're going to talk about Rise and all that other stuff.
Yes, and
Next,
Friday's
yeah,
a big day.
yes, Friday especially. Next week, we're going to bring you an update on making violence prevention, all of those programs that your tax money is funding. And we're going to be talking about some of the outcomes and how you that are sitting saying there's nothing for your kids to do, there's plenty for them to do. You're just not getting them into those things. There are a lot of things. We're going to talk about library programs and reading during the summer, which is so very important. This is a fact, D.A. Howard. The more you read, the smarter you get. The research shows the more you read, the smarter you get. So just take my word for it. And I'm going to try and find, if we had Patrick on here, Patrick would have gone and gotten the reference to that scientific
Well, I know
study.
there's also
It is a
there's a
fact.
statistic too about third grade and literacy that I've heard, at various meetings that I go to that kind of determine
Right. They're
success.
surveying the third grade to see who's not where they need to be.
Hmm.
And that's one of the determinants that they use to project prison space
Yes,
in the future. Now, that's sad.
it
That is
really
sad.
is.
That is sad. And the other thing I want you to think about for your young ones, your children or your grandchildren, is the museums. The Museum of Arts and Sciences has some wonderful camps. The Tubman Museum has some wonderful camps, wonderful things. A lot of these are low cost, and many of them are free. So I know that's a whole lot, but if you missed any of it, you can go back and replay this program. Now, now we go to our DA once again. And I'm always so excited because there's always something going on. And we want to express appreciation for your support of
Hmm.
so many different things, not just EL High School and our graduates, but Soul Jam. And we've already
Yes.
talked about all your staff there. They were moving. I saw them moving
Oh,
to the
they
now. I
enjoyed it.
saw
They
them. I
enjoyed it.
saw
And then
them.
when I told them it was time to go, I said, okay, we can leave now. I think some of them stayed. So
Uh-huh. Uh-huh.
I left. So I was going to let them enjoy themselves.
Yeah. But yeah, did you see the mayor and Commissioner Wilder out there trying to
Oh, I
dance?
did not. I did
They
see,
were
I
up
saw
listening
Commissioner.
to Senator
Oh, really?
sing, and they were up there trying to
I've seen the
dance.
mayor trying to dance a couple times. I have seen that.
They had some of that special juice that was prepared under the Lucas tent over there.
Ah,
So yeah, they could
uh,
dance a little bit. They
the
were
mayor might have a few little dance moves. I've seen a little bit, but
yeah,
yes,
little little is okay. We're gonna go to our DA, and I want to just compliment you on what you are doing. I am just amazed at all of the different programs and how committed your staff is to carrying those out. And you do it first class, just first class. They gave away hundreds of really nice bags with materials in them at Soul Jam. And I've seen them do it at many, many other events. And people appreciate quality, and that's what you bring to that office, something that we needed a long, long time. So I'm going to turn it over to you,
yes,
let you talk about Friday, because we
yes.
want everybody to know. Y'all, please like and share. And if you have comments, I'm still not seeing the comments. And engineer, they don't let me touch anything in here. They got a special sign for me. It says, Commissioner,
Oh, then
don't
that,
touch don't touch anything, and I don't touch anything. But anyway, I'm going to turn it over to you and let you talk about Friday first of all, and invite people to come
yes.
and join us because I plan to be there too. And then we're going to talk about the other things that you're doing in your office.
Wonderful. So on Friday, we have our third annual Change in the Face of Justice Day. And we are excited. We're going to start at 9 a.m. at the Georgia Sports Hall of Fame with a
Hmm.
breakfast. I moved it back an hour because, we normally start at 8, but we're going to
Yeah.
start at 9. And then at 10, we'll have the briefing. And then and that's where you'll learn about all the things that we have done in the office this year, all of the initiatives, where we are with cases and numbers, and also what we're looking forward to do in the future.
Mhm.
And then we will go 1 o'clock. We will go to the Sheriff's Outreach Center. We're going to have our second opportunity help desk, which is for record restrictions. So right now, the record restrictions come to the DA's office,
Mhm.
and I have an ADA that's assigned to the record restriction, but also that has a caseload. And I just felt it's beneficial to have somewhere where that's their primary duty. And secondly, I felt like it was important to expand and make sure that individuals in our community are able to take advantage of all of the services.
Mhm.
So, for example, one of the services, you may not qualify for record restriction, but you could qualify for retroactive first offender. And
Oh,
see, that's
okay.
not something that our office can, walk you through that process because we cannot offer legal advice. But now that we have this being done with a partnership with Middle Georgia Justice, uh, Bill Adams, who was
Oh
Judge
yeah,
Adams, he's
yeah,
able to
yeah.
focus on this, hire somebody that can give that advice, that can help folks fill that paperwork out. This was something that I saw being done in Cobb County. I have been talking for since my first year in office. Every time Judge Adams and I talk, we would talk. I would say, "When are you gonna get that help desk I want you to get?"
Mhm.
And he would always say, "We're working on." And then I guess about January, he called me and said, "I think we're gonna be able to do it this year." So this has been a goal of mine since I got in office.
Yeah.
And actually, our office provided $20,000 of seed money for this initiative. And I know once it gets up and running and everybody sees how wonderful it is, they'll be able to get grants and things of that
Right.
nature. But a lot of times they need just that seed money to start off with. So our office was able to do that. And so we're excited. That's at 1 o'clock. There's a ribbon cutting.
Mhm.
And then at 3 o'clock, I'm really excited. We're doing something that's never been done. We're going to have satellite offices. The DA's office will have satellite offices in the community. And so Friday at 3, we're going to be over at Lundy Chapel.
Oh.
Rise
Uh-huh.
at Lundy.
Uh-huh.
And so we will have
Reverend Porter.
yes,
Mhm.
yes, Pastor Cook. We're going to have food truck. We're going to have face painting. We're going to have all kinds of things over there.
I
And
might have to just drive around and follow y'all
yes,
all day.
I have some people who say they're going to be with me all day, and just get in the community out. We're gonna have bouncy houses. Bring your kids. Bring your kids. Bring your kids. Now we spent good money on this stuff,
Mhm. Your
and
money. It was
right, and
your
so
money,
we've spent
y'all.
right. Well, we've spent
Uh,
forfeiture dollars on this, right,
uh-huh.
and so
Uh-huh.
we want to
That was
make
some
yes,
people for
some
forfeit.
people money, right, and so we want everybody to know it's not taxpayers' dollars, okay? So they're like, but it is forfeiture money. But we have spent money. We have also put just a lot of effort into this. We want the children to come out. We want to talk to the families about Rise. We want to talk to them about the Junior Justice League that our office does. We want to talk to them about victim services. We will also have so that location is in the north. We will have another
Mhm.
location that is going to be at Unionville. So we'll have a
Mhm.
location with
Mhm.
Dr. Mack. We'll have that one in
Unionville Baptist.
yes, we'll
Uh-huh.
have that one in South Macon.
Mhm.
But we're doing the ribbon cutting because of everybody's schedules.
Yeah.
We're doing the ribbon cutting just at Lundy,
Yeah.
but it's going to be at 3 o'clock. So I think we've paid for like over 200 plates of food from the food truck. So I need people to show up.
Yeah, yeah, y'all. And we're going to put all of this information, post all of the information here. And when you replay this, because we know you have to watch it several times. People tell me they watch it several times just in case they missed something. But we'll have this information on here so that Pastor Lisa is on great initiatives and
Oh,
programs by
thank
the DA's
you.
office, and she and Dr. Butler are just very, very active out there in South Bibb. And we were out there Saturday for a motorcade for Dr. Matt. That was the longest motorcade. He's coming up on his 37th anniversary. I don't know whether they had it Sunday or not or what, but I know it's coming up. But they had a motorcade that left the corner of Pinona Avenue and Eisenhower Parkway. That was the longest motorcade. When we got down it by Macedonia
Right.
Baptist Church, we looked back. The motorcade was stretched all the way back to Pinona Avenue. That was the longest motorcade I've seen. I said, these folks love their
Yes,
pastor.
and we were
They're doing a
invited.
lot of things out
They
there in
are, and
Unionville.
I've known Dr. Max since I was a young girl. His wife was my fourth grade teacher.
Hmm.
His wife and my mother taught school together at Bonnie Elementary, but they're doing a lot of wonderful things. And we were invited, but we I had the Peach Festival, as you said. There's
Uh-huh.
always, and
Always lots.
I had already committed to that. But I did want. I saw here. I think Sean Jones said he needs to get in contact with me, and so I want to give. That's why I was looking up to make sure I had it right.
Hmm.
My executive assistant, that is who you contact, and she will get you scheduled on my calendar. And so the number for my executive assistant, her name is Sandra Franklin, and the number is 478-310-2008. 478-310-2008. And so a lot of people don't know, but we actually have twice a month for half days. There's time that we carve out on the schedule for me to meet with folk, just about various community questions that
Really?
that
I've
they may
never
have.
heard of that
Yes, yes.
happening.
And we started to advertise that. And then somebody said, if you advertise that,
Yeah,
it won't
yeah,
be 2 days, it'll be
yeah,
seven. But I
yeah.
wanted to, when I first got there, they were like, well, people, you don't normally talk to the DA. And I said, well, I talked to these folks and asked them for their vote and their confidence in me.
Exactly.
And so it's important for me, if they want to talk with their DA. Now, a lot of times I will have other people from my office in the
Right,
meeting because they have more information. We have
right.
thousands of cases and they have more information than we have, than I would have,
Yeah,
right? Because they've lived with these cases
yeah,
and, researched them
yeah.
and all of that. But we schedule. No one is the only individuals that I will not meet with is someone who has charges who is
Right.
represented by an attorney,
Hmm.
because we are prohibited, and people don't understand that. But once you have an attorney that does an entry of appearance and says, "I am representing this individual,"
Hmm.
I cannot meet with someone who has a case in the office who is represented by an attorney without your attorney.
Hmm.
And people say, "Well, I've not heard from my attorney. I want to fire my attorney." But
You need to go find them.
until the judge signs an order
Mhm.
allowing permission for that attorney to withdraw from that case, I cannot talk to you. And it's not that I don't want to talk to you, I just can't talk to you,
Yeah,
because it's prohibited by ethics, and I don't want to do anything. I'm not going to do anything that
right,
gets me in trouble.
right,
So people don't
right.
understand that though, but I have to tell them.
Well, but that's why this is one of the most important news and information programs because we bring you information that's going to help you. Information is power. If you know what is and is not, you
That's
have
right.
power and you're able to move in the right direction. Okay, so
And I'm seeing some
that's
comments. I see Faye. Miss Faye wants to meet with me. We just gave that number, four
mhm,
seven eight 310 2008. I see
mhm.
Ricky saying I'm doing great. He's seen me in action. Thank you so much, Ricky. I know Miss Faye. I think she is Arion's aunt, maybe, right? Arion Smith, I think.
I'm not sure.
Okay, okay. I
I'm not
thought I
sure.
knew. I don't know why I thought that, but
Okay, and we've got your number, your contact number
great,
there.
awesome, awesome.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. But we want to once again welcome you to Ask Elaine. It's Wednesday. It's between 3 and 4. We're just so delighted that you are there with us, whether you're on AM, FM, or you're on Facebook Live. Y'all, please like and share. this because we want everybody to be reminded uh, that this program is for them. It's informational. Pastor Lisa was posting about Reverend Mack's
Mhm.
faithful 37 years of serving. She says
Yes,
it's well deserving of celebration.
that's
And
right.
Pastor Lisa and Dr. Butler are going to be celebrating. Pastor Lisa, if you will post that information again for us, I believe it's their silver. Um, Oh, Ricky Crawford says, I have seen the DA in action. She is great. Uh-huh. If he
Mhm.
says it,
That's right.
that's it. That's it. And we're always glad to have you on, Ricky Crawford, and the other
Well,
Crawford,
he seen me,
Randy.
having to stand up to some folk, and it's
Uh-huh.
not. And I appreciate, Ricky, so much because it's not always, it's not always easy. But I'm going to stand up for what
Mm-hmm.
is right, and it's not.
Mm-hmm.
That's not always popular,
Yeah,
Commissioner
well,
Lucas.
I know.
I
I
mean, you
know.
know, though. I mean,
I
I'm preaching
know.
to the
I
choir,
know.
right?
Yeah, because we've got some issues that we got to
That's
deal with.
right.
And so people say, well, you're not as fiery as you used to be. As you get older, you learn that there are some other ways of
That's
handling
right.
stuff without running your blood pressure up and, that kind of stuff.
And you
You
can win, and
use
you
your
can
brain.
win the war without winning the
Better
battle.
believe it. Better
Right,
believe it.
exactly.
Yeah,
And so
you
I
better
tell people
believe
that
it.
all the
So
time. And
you better
you fight when you have to fight. You
that's
don't you don't
right.
if you fight when you don't have to fight, you're gonna get tired.
Exactly.
You're gonna, exhaust
Exactly.
all your energy, right?
And you're gonna be looking ugly and you just
Yes,
gonna be, tired. And
exactly.
so
And I
this
appreciate
government service is something now. It's a
it
lot of
is.
work
It is.
if you're committed.
And it's a lot that people don't see and that we don't talk about that's going on behind closed doors,
Right.
right?
Right.
And I tell people all the time, you have no idea, some of the things that we encounter and some of just the systems, right, that we have to fight.
That's
Tearing down
right.
those systems are so, are challenging, but
Yeah.
we have to do it. And so I thank you for your support. I thank you for coming over to Union for the chat and chew.
Oh
You
yeah.
were there.
Yeah.
I know we
Yeah.
had some other elected
That was
officials that
great.
were
It was
there.
great.
It
Yeah.
was awesome.
It surely was. Surely
And
was.
and we
People
had
enjoyed
room
it.
for about 80 more. We had about a
Yeah,
hundred and something.
that's part of the problem. And I hate to just say this, keep saying this, but when there are opportunities,
That's right.
people can only do so much. They can come up with a program, a proposal, they can set the date, they can have it all planned out and stuff, waiting for you to show up. A lot of times you don't show up, and so that creates a kind of that's a problem. So when these things are planned, when people take their time and resources and put them together, please show up. Let's tell them again about Friday.
Friday, 9 o'clock starts at the Georgia Sports Hall of Fame. We will have a breakfast, full breakfast. At 10 o'clock, we will move into the auditorium for the briefing. That will last about an hour. And then we will move over at 1 o'clock to the Sheriff's Outreach Center for the ribbon cutting for the second opportunity desk. And also, then we will, at 3 o'clock, we will be at Lundy Chapel, Rise at Lundy. And I want you to bring your children, bring your children. We have a lot of activities planned for the kids, and you all have opportunity to look to see where we're going to be housed,
Mhm.
how it's going to be set up, because I know that we have a community that's in need, and we have to meet people where they are.
Right.
And we have to go beyond the walls of Mulberry, beyond the walls of that courthouse. And
Right.
so this is one of the ways that we're doing it. We've been doing a lot of outreach. Now we're taking it to the next level. And so
Mhm.
we will be in the community at these locations on Tuesday. So Tuesday, the first and third Tuesday, we will be at one location. And the second and fourth Tuesday, we'll be at the other location. We're going to have more traditional hours. It'll be 10 a.m. until 7 p.m. So we're excited about it. And I know a lot of folks are excited about that.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Juneteenth
Mhm.
is coming up. Back when the Emancipation Proclamation was signed by President Lincoln, who, by the way, wasn't so much about slavery, it was about trying to keep the Union together, but it did free people who were enslaved. But down in Texas and Louisiana, some parts of
Right.
that the country, there was some people who didn't get the word. They didn't know until months later
Hmm.
that they were free. And so they started a celebration. That's where Juneteenth comes from. And George Muhammad and others, and we had some folks representing making Black culture and also Juneteenth Kwanzaa Cultural Access on a few weeks ago, talking about the Juneteenth, the series of events. There are so many events that are planned in this community. And so you ought to take part on the 16th. By the way, Juneteenth is a federal holiday. It is a national holiday, just like Thanksgiving and Christmas and Easter and
Right.
all these other days that are national holidays. So you don't have to work that day. That's a federal holiday. You get that day off. So, what's your excuse for not participating in the Juneteenth activities? I guess the same excuse that people come up with when you have the National King holiday and you sit on your porch and watch the marchers go by
That's right.
and you don't say hi, you don't join the march, you don't celebrate Dr. King in some way. We just got to do better. But
And like you
on
said, when
June
they say it's got to
16th,
be a day on and not a day
that's
off.
exactly right. That's
Hmm.
right. You got the whole day, so do something with it. Some people and a lot of people tell me, well, we just get so tired of hearing folks talking about folks died, bled, and died. Well, they did.
They do.
They did, and some of them were your folks
Hmm.
um, who gave their all for your right to be where you are. And for folks to deny all that and just push that aside and think that they have arrived, no, your rights are being taken away more quickly than the rights were back during what we call the traditional voting civil rights movement, but we're about to enter into another civil rights movement because we've just got to do better. Pastor Lisa says this past Sunday, we celebrated her 25th Liberty Silver Church anniversary, the joint Sweet 16 with ELCC, and the 34th for Evangelical and Dr. Butler. So we appreciate you sharing
Oh,
that
yes. And
information.
congratulations on
Yeah,
that.
yeah.
Yeah, it's awesome.
Yeah, my sister Nita is on. She says, "Hey, Commissioner. Hey, Nita. Great
Hey, Nina,
show.
how you doing?
Hello to the DA. She just thinks so much of you. She's she's kind of quiet in what she does, but she's attending more and more things. But she just really thinks you're doing an excellent job. Reginald Singletary is on. We want to welcome him. Thank you.
Welcome. Yeah, and thank you.
Thank you
Thank you
for
for your
being there.
support.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. But on the 16th, June 16th, there's going to be a parade. Are you doing the
Yes, we
parade?
are in the parade.
Uh-huh.
We've got to finalize that, but we've spoken with Marshall Talley. I know he's
Yeah.
involved with that, and we've told him we're going to be in that parade. We're trying to
Yeah.
just get through Friday,
I
and then
know it.
I
I
tell
know
people
it.
all the time, they'll ask you about something, and I said, look, it's on the calendar, and I'm
Mm-hmm.
coming, but
Mm-hmm.
I can't really talk to you about it till I get through
Yeah.
this
Yeah.
week, and then
Yeah.
I got this week, so
Yeah.
just kind of space
It's
it
a
out.
lot going on, y'all.
And
I'm telling you.
you said something. You said there's a lot of information, and we know that scripture tells us, "My people perish for a lack of knowledge," and we did the DA 101s trying to explain the criminal justice system to the community. We're out doing outreach. Now we're having satellite offices. I know others are doing things. We had the chat and chew over there at Union with Pastor Stanley. We are doing a lot of things, but we have got to, like you said, the people have got to come. And we are perishing because we
That's
lack
right.
knowledge. And when we
That's
don't
right.
understand, we act a lot of times on, we making decisions, and those decisions are not informed because we lack knowledge.
Right.
It's like I was talking about, there have been some people that say, well, DA Howard just doesn't want to talk to me. Well, DA Howard can't talk to you because of this, right? And so it's
Right.
just trying to continuously, or some people are talking about voting. They say, well, I'm a convicted felon, I can't vote. But you can vote
Yeah.
if you are a convicted felon, if you are off papers, if you have
Right.
finished with your, everything that you need to complete. You're not under a sentence any
No
longer. You're just
fees or
right, no fees.
anything.
You can. You have to. My
Yeah.
understanding is you have to register again,
Right.
but you can vote,
Yeah.
and that's
Yeah.
information that
And every vote is going to count
That's
going
right.
forward.
But see, they don't want
Every
us to know
vote.
all of that, Commissioner
That's right.
Lucas.
That's
They
right.
don't, because you just said they don't want us to vote.
That's
So
right.
they're not going to they broadcast everything else.
So
That should
you're
be
just playing into
right.
their plans. They've got this plan, and
Hmm.
they're saying they're not going to go vote
That's
anyway.
right.
So we'll put that election where we send them all back to wherever they came from. We'll put that election on that date where we know they're not going to want to come and vote, just like they did with consolidation vote. They put it in May, and their thinking was, well, people aren't going to go vote.
Right.
Talking about us, black and brown folks, we know they aren't going to go and vote, and we didn't. And so
And
we've got
we do everything to
consolidated
get people to go
government.
vote.
Yeah.
Give them the ride, give them a, can't do it anymore, but you used to give them a fish plate
No, you
and
can't do
everything. Yeah, right. So I
it.
don't want
Can't do
anybody.
it.
Hey,
You
I don't
can't
want
give them
anybody to say.
water or
No, I don't want anybody to
anything.
say. D.A. Howard said we can
No,
get
she
fish.
did.
I said we used to be able to do that. We can't do that anymore.
No, that's actually a part of the law where that you are prohibited from, if somebody's in a long, long line,
Yes.
you're prohibited from, you know. Anyway, they took a group before the state board of elections on that junk. I'm telling you, if you don't use it, you're gonna lose it. And so if you're not registered, and if you have family members who are not, please take that upon yourself to go ahead and get them registered. Let's remind everybody one more time
About Friday.
about
So I'm going to
Friday.
remind you about Friday. It's the third annual Changing the Face of Justice Day. Doors will open at 8:30. The breakfast will start at 9. And then at 10, we will have our briefing at the Georgia Sports Hall of Fame. All the morning activities are at the Sports Hall of Fame. And then at 1 o'clock, we will move to the Sheriff's Outreach Center for ribbon cutting for our at the Restorative Justice Center for our second opportunity help desk for record restriction. And then at 3 o'clock, we will have a family event. Bring your children, bring somebody else's children, as long as you have their permission.
Yeah.
I have to say all of that,
Yeah,
right, as the
yeah,
DA,
of
because
course.
people will say,
Of
DA, how
course.
so? Rise at Lundy is at 3 o'clock. We're gonna have, face painting, food truck, bouncy houses. So come on over. We're excited about it. And then I just want to say I'm honored to serve as your district attorney. And I am the first female and first African American, and that is because of you. And I ask for your support, and
She
I
got
ask for your
70% of the vote, y'all. So
I,
let's top that this time.
right.
Let's first of all, if somebody comes to you and says, I'm thinking of running, tell them stay home, save your money, because we're not going to replace her. We're going to vote for Anita Rose Howard to serve her second term, uh, uh, supporting us and doing what's right for this community. And so that's what you need to tell them. And don't let them get out there and waste their money and be embarrassed. What's Pastor Lisa? Grateful to DA
Oh
and
yeah,
excellent,
thank
continuing
you.
to educate and engage people to register and vote. That books in the ballot.
That's right. You
Books
gotta
and the
go. And I
ballot.
just want to ask for I tell people all the time. People say, well, "What do you do?" You ask for the vote. I want to ask for your support and your vote for district attorney. Again, the election will be in 2024, and
Next year, y'all.
that's right. And just because you don't, hear me out here talking about it all the time, because I'm talking about all the work that we're doing, the
Uh-huh.
initiatives, you best believe I'm ready. Because they tell me if you stay ready, you
Oh
don't have to
yeah,
get
that's
ready.
true.
And
That's true.
Commissioner Lucas
I
knows I'm
always
ready.
stay, and I always stayed ready. I always stayed ready. There was no thing like downtime or anything like that because
Yes.
people are plotting and scheming all the time as to how they're going to keep you from being in places where you need to be, where
Well,
you
you know
need
what
to
blesses me,
represent.
and I'm sure it's the same for you when I see, because oftentimes we vote and people make all these promises and we vote for people and we have voters remorse. We've all had it before. But what is such a blessing to me is when I see people and I'm out and about, this is just unsolicited, they come up and they said, "You're doing a great job and I voted for you and I just
Uh-huh.
want to thank you." And
Hmm.
the fact that they're still happy or excited
Yeah,
that they voted for me, and they're vocalizing that they're
right,
proud about it, and
right.
so it just blesses my heart.
Well, one of the things that you do so well, and that is you and your team let people know what's going on. And that's always been something that I've believed in, that if folks don't know about it, it really didn't happen
That's
for
right.
those who didn't see the coverage or whatever. So you've got to make sure that you let people know. And so you have handled, you have run your office and you've put in place some very competent people who keep
Yes.
the community informed of what's going
What's going
on.
on?
And you give people an opportunity to be a part of their government and to understand.
Is
So
this the
that
music?
makes a difference. Yeah,
Oh, I see Dr. Butler. She said, "You got my vote." Thank you, Dr. Thank you so much. Reginald said,
but now
"Re-elect
she
DA
is
Howard." Thank
running
you.
next year,
That's
and
right.
those elections are in May, aren't they?
Yes, they are.
Yeah. So you got to be ready.
That's
You got
right.
to be ready. Oh,
Well,
you know what? This time
we
just
always run out of time.
goes
I know.
by. Yeah, but all these folks are saying you do an
Oh, thank
excellent
y'all so
job,
much.
and
I'm
so
so grateful.
on the first day of early voting next year in May, I'll be there, but casting my vote. There are going to be some early voting sites. And we got to talk about the new Board of Elections out
Yes.
at the old mall, the Macon Mall.
Yes.
It's redone,
Oh,
renovated.
thank you, Miss Faye.
It's gonna be wonderful. And when there are long lines, you'll be able to be inside. It's gonna be wonderful. We're gonna talk about that on a show very, very soon. Thank you so very much. Thank you, DA Howard. Thank you very, very much. We enjoyed having you there. Thank you again for tuning in. You just make us proud that you support us.
All right,
So,
Pastor Lisa. All right, vote
yeah,
DA Howard.
yeah, yeah. So we'll see you again next
Yeah.
Wednesday at 3 for another edition of Ask Elaine. And we're going to talk about making violence prevention, library opportunities, the museums, and those opportunities, and then Parks and Rec. So thank you. We'll see you again next Wednesday for another edition of Ask Elaine.
Connecting the community through gospel. The new 107.9 FM, W300EB, Macon, and WDDO 988.